And good Monday afternoon, the first day of October. So, I did a lot of time thinking about what I watched and how I would approach. I do. I mean it. I try to put time into how I'm going to approach Monday. I think it's how you set the tone for the show. It's how you set the tone for the week. And something struck me as I watched more football after the Lions game yesterday, and specifically with a team like Baltimore. But a word popped to mind, because we're always trying to find reasons. Blame. You know, who do we blame? I listened to Doug and Scott, and a lot of people want to blame Stafford. The word is professionalism, right? Like in our lives, there are certain times that most of us have to be professional. Like unless you're a grifter or you live under a bridge, you generally are going to need to be professional. Conference call, professional. Client meeting, professional. Job interview, professional, right? Certain times you just have to do it. You got that job interview coming up. You know you can't wear a backwards hat and a tank top. You've got to dress like an adult. It's professional. The Lions, in so many ways, are unprofessional. Now, work with me. You're paid to play football. You are some of the best athletes in the world. But yet when I watch the Lions, like game one, they're down by 100 to start the fourth quarter. Game number two, they're down 30-13 to start the fourth quarter. Yesterday, down 20-10. Tells me you're not playing well the first three quarters. Duh. That's not professional. You know, Baltimore, that was a business trip last night, and they came out and established themselves early. And things fell apart, and it could have spiraled. But they gathered themselves at halftime and dominated the second half, and, hey, they won a big game. Going on the road in the NFL requires 4 good quarters of football. Not great. The Lions generally give you 1 great quarter of football. But that's not professional. That's not businesslike. Look, they had a chance to start that game quickly, right? Get out, get up early, get Dallas out of a comfort zone. Didn't do it. First 2 drives of the game, punt, punt. You end up getting a TD on the board. You then have a 16-play drive that results in a field goal from the 15-yard line. Not good enough. Overall, you produce through 3 quarters of football 10 points. It's not good enough. There's no other way around it. Now, I'm not blaming Matthew Stafford. It's not him alone. There's something deeper here. The MO of this team is that they just don't turn it on until the fourth quarter. They just don't. And whether that's Stafford and or scheme and or focus and or script, I listen, we can debate it till 6 o'clock. But they're not professional. They don't go out and give you 4 good quarters of football. They did last week, but 3 of the 4 games, they've taken 3 of the 4 quarters off. Here's the other thing. Lining up offsides on 3rd and 7, it's unprofessional. It's a stupid mental error. It's inexcusable. The Eli Harold penalty, unbelievable. Taking 1 bad defensive holding penalty on a drive, it happens. It does. The Lions, during a critical Dallas second-half drive, took not 1, not 2, but 3 defensive holding calls in 1 drive. It's unprofessional. Allowing Jared Davis, your middle linebacker, who you know struggles in pass coverage, how he ends up covering Zeke Elliott out wide, man-to-man, on a critical 35-yard pass play. To me, it's not professional. And, you know, the Golden Tate stuff, I know we'll end up getting into it. He's a hell of a football player. It's a little much for me. And again, what you do when you cross the end zone, I don't really care. I love the celebrations. I love the dancing. I love the Lambeau leap. I loved Eifert cracking a beer. I love the dance routines. I'm fine with all of it. What Golden Tate did yesterday, no. turning around, showboating, slowing down. The second touchdown where he almost had the ball knocked out of his hand and then took a hit and then tumbled over. It's tacky. It's unprofessional. It's just not where it needs to be. And you can bet. And we already know. Patricia told him, cut it out. I just think the Lions lack a business-like approach. The Lions lack the ability to go and give you 4 quarters of mentally locked in, good football. Above any other criticism, above the Stafford debate. And I thought Stafford was very good yesterday. But let's be honest, 10 points, 3 quarters of football. The defense is a disaster. I mean, it just is. The defense is a total, unmitigated disaster. They made Dak Prescott look good. They made Zeke look like a Hall of Famer. 3 of the 4 weeks, your defense has been terrible. It is. And you're not even in the portion of your schedule where you're going to face good offenses. Offenses like Minnesota, like the Rams. This defense is very, very poor. But the attention to details is not there. The ability to start fast is not there. The ability to play 4 good quarters of football is not there. And I'm just not going to be blinded by, Stafford with a couple of big late answers. I'm tired of that movie. I talked about it after the Frisco game. I'm tired of watching this movie where it's down 30-13, make foe come back, end up losing. It's not good enough. Try this on for size. Don't be down by double digits heading to the fourth quarter. I don't think that's some great ask. I don't think that's some big accomplishment. But that's where we find ourselves. And it was just watching Baltimore last night, you just saw this total different mentality that they were going to play 4 quarters of football. They were going to start fast. They had a plan. They were going to stick to it. They were going to execute it. Things went sideways for them. The Alex Collins fumble should have been 21 bagel, ends up 14-14. Regroup, come out in that second half, and establish themselves. Take the crowd out of it. Take Ben Roethlisberger off the field, and we're going to go in and we're going to beat our rival on the road. 26-14, business. And Baltimore's not a great team. Baltimore doesn't have some overwhelming amount of talent. But Baltimore is professional. You know who's not? The Steelers. Baltimore, it's businesslike. You know who's not? The Steelers. And I just drew some parallels between watching that game and watching you. And believe me, Dallas did everything in their power to try to hand you that game. Remember, Jason Garrett, 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line. They passed on a bootleg and then ran a fade route to a tight end who's a converted basketball player who hasn't caught a ball all season. 2nd and goal from the 4. You're up 3. Let me give you your play chart. Run, then probably run, if not play pass. Worst case, Lions get the ball on the 1-yard line. Here's what I'm not doing. I am not kicking a field goal to go up 6 to give Stafford the ball to beat me. And I'm also not going to run consecutive plays from the goal line that do not feature Zeke Elliott. Jason Garrett gave you the game. Stafford did what we knew he would do. Take the ball and score. Your defense then did what we knew they would do. Spit the bit. But you had the opposition try to help you. You didn't start fast. You only produced 10 points in 3 quarters. You had some late game heroics. But the lack of professionalism, the stupid penalties, allowing a terrible matchup with Jared Davis to be covering Zeke Elliott, just every big mistake you could make, you made. And you don't win on the road in this league when you don't play 4 quarters. Unless you are playing some deadbeat team. Like the Packers played the Bills yesterday, and truthfully, I thought Green Bay looked awful. Green Bay lacked focus. Green Bay got called out by their quarterback after the game. You might get away with that, but you're at home. When you go on the road and you don't start fast, it's very hard to win when you're just an average football team. And I think that's what the Lions are. They're just very average. But I'm not going to yell about Matthew Stafford. I can't. Do I need him to be better earlier? Yeah, I do. I can't yell about the defense anymore. They're terrible, and no amount of time that Patricia spends looking into the tablet is going to fix it. They're awful. This is an awful defense. And overall, it's more of the same. It's a 1-3 start. You're not making the playoffs. At best, you're average. I don't know what to say. I don't. I'll throw the number out. I'd love to talk to you about it. I mean, hell, I wasted my Sunday the same way you did. So we can get into it. But it's just, I'm tired of watching an amateur operation. And that's what I feel like they are. They just make so many amateur mistakes. And it's very, very tiring. Go on the road, start fast, play 4 quarters of pretty even football, and you generally win. And this franchise just can't do it. They just can't do it. 248-539-9797. We'll get the people in the mix. We'll certainly get Sully and David involved. We'll get your ticket texts, which I assume are flying in 97136. Let's get this Monday going.